Good morning, everyone. I'm going to make a couple of quick announcements. Actually, I'll let Elise do hers. On this Thursday, December 7th, from 7 to 8:30, we will be celebrating Lhamo Tsongkhapa Day, but it'll be in the evening. But it is a day-long kind of recognition of the founder of our Gelug tradition. And so it's a big day, and we'll have prayers and practices and light offerings, and it looks like it's going to be clear that night, so we'll be able to take some light offerings out to the stupa. So please join us at 7 o'clock on Thursday for Lhamo Tsongkhapa Day celebration. And then I'm going to pass this over to Elise.
Thank you. I'm Elise Strevel, Outreach Coordinator, and this Friday is our premiere of Dharma Night at the Movies. It's going to be a series that help us to learn more about our teachers from old and contemporary times. And we're starting with Milarepa, magician, murderer, saint. Now, you've got to come see that. And it's the backstory of this famous 11th century Buddhist teacher who was involved in black magic and murderous revenge before turning his life around. So come and get inspired for your own life. Thank you.
6:30. Yeah, gathering at 6:30 for the movie. 7 o'clock is when the movie will begin. So come on out Thursday and Friday night. It should be fun. It is. Woo.
Okay, so let's begin the session with prostrations to the altar, and you don't have to join if you don't, want to, or if you've already done so. Okay, now that you all stood up and sat down, I'm going to ask you to get up again and, introduce yourself to people you've never met before, or, reconnect with people you know already for a few minutes, like 5 minutes, and then we'll start. Please make the new people feel welcome to be here.
So hello, everyone online. I'm happy that you are here. And welcome to everyone on YouTube as well. Good morning, Kristen and others on YouTube. Happy you're here. We'll be back momentarily. Okay, everyone, start to wrap up your hellos. Make your way back to your seats. All right, everyone, if you can wrap it up, make your way back.
Thank you very much for doing that. I just want to stress the importance of community at our center. And I think this is one of the great opportunities we have to build and nurture our community. It's one of the reasons why I joined the Kadamba Center. And I even wanted to come to the Kadamba Centers because one or two people at the center were so welcoming and encouraging, and that's why. And I think that that's important, for our center. Okay, so now let's just kind of relax and just maybe get into a little meditation posture and think about or review the motivation for coming here, your intention for coming to the center today. It could be that you wanted to meet with like-minded people. Maybe you're here to benefit someone one of your loved ones who is suffering from something. Perhaps you just wanted to help benefit those in the community to help understand the teachings, just to benefit all sentient beings. We can rejoice at the enormous leisure and opportunity that we have to have this center, all the beautiful Dharma materials we have, our teachers, the karma for all of us to meet here together today, online or in person, in order to have that collective karma is just amazing. Absolutely amazing. And not only that, most of you are doing a Dharma practice or trying to increase your Dharma knowledge. That's just wonderful. So special. And now I'd like to set up the refuge visualization. You may have known this, but in November, when I gave a presentation on Sunday, we went through the refuge visualization, and I have a little bit more information because people wondering, why are we doing this? What's the purpose of this? And this refuge visualization is from the Ganden Lagem by Lhamo Tsongkhapa. And it's called the Yoga of the Hundreds of Deities of Tushita. And it was secretly imparted by Tsongkhapa. But then one of his disciples, the first Dalai Lama, Lama Gedun Drup, taught this instruction, and it was orally transmitted. And then Dugnapa Peldan, one of the disciples of the first Dalai Lama, wrote down this practice. So because of all their kindnesses, we're able to do this practice today. And so This practice, as I said before, was taught to the nuns in a private meeting by Geshe Gelik, and Geshe received the teaching from Choden Rinpoche, and Choden Rinpoche received the teaching from His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. Okay, so the refuge field, we'll begin that. So in the space directly in front of you, at the level of your eyebrows, at a distance of a full-length prostration, on a broad and high throne made of precious substances, supported by 8 great lions, upon a variegated lotus, moon, and sun mandala seat, sits the essence of our own root guru in the aspect of the conqueror, Buddha Shakyamuni. And the lions on the line, supporting a lion throne, symbolize the inner qualities of enlightened beings. And the Shakyamuni Buddha sits on the lotus, sun, and moon seat, which represent the 3 principal aspects of the path: renunciation, bodhicitta, and the real wisdom realizing emptiness. So Shakyamuni Buddha has 1 face and 2 arms. His right hand is in the earth pressing mudra. And the left hand is is in meditation posture, holding a biggie bowl. So the earth pressing hand mudra symbolizes that you have subjugated the 4 Maras, the Mara that is the Lord of Death, the 5 tainted aggregates, afflictions, and the evil son of the gods. And the left hand in the mudra of meditated equipoise symbolizes that he is single pointed equipoise on the wisdom realizing shunyata. And the begging bowl is full of amrita or nectar, medicine, immortality, and transcendental, inexhaustible wisdom. His body is adorned with, is clothed with robes of saffron hue, and is adorned with 32 major and 80 minor marks, which are in the nature of light. So he sits in the Vajra position with light radiating from his body. Although the light extends beyond nature, beyond measure, it appears to ordinary beings as only an arm's length. So in front of Shakyamuni Buddha, or the Lamas have given teachings to you directly. To his left is the lineage of profound view, such as Lord Manjushri and Arya Nagarjuna. And to his left is Lord Maitreya, Master Shantidev, Arya Asanga, behind Vajradhara, the lineage of blessed practice, such as Lama Atisha, and below are the deities of 4 classes of Tantra, Buddhist Bodhisattvas, Dharma protectors on terraces of lotus petals. And in front of those beings, on fine tables, are their scriptures and teachings in the form of light. And they are very pleased because they see that we understand Guru Yoga is the root of the path, and we are doing the practice. So now just imagine yourself as the chant master, whatever. And on your right is your father of this life, representing all male sentient beings. And to your left are all the female, is your mother, representing all the female sentient beings. In front are your enemies and their spirits. And behind is your circle of friends and loved ones. And now imagine that you're going to lead them in the refuge in bodhicitta prayer, as if you're leading them from bondage and samsara. So now we're going to go to our, we're going to go to our books. And let's see, let me share this on the screen. Okay, let's see. Okay, so if you would mind going to page 34 in the Gold Prayer Book, and we'll recite the four measurables. It's not the same type of four measurables that's in this practice. In the Ganen Lagema practice, it starts with equanimity, but since I think it'd be good if we could do this together. So let's say this 3 times, the four measurables, page 34. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends or hatred for enemies. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends or hatred for enemies. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends or hatred for enemies. Okay, now that we've done that, just imagine that 5-color nectar dissolves into the crown, that the Lhamo, the merit field, sends the nectar through our crown into our 5 places, purifying all the faults related to them, and all their blessings enter our mind stream. And now we can recite the resultant refuge. And let's see, if you go to page 34 in your Gold Prayer Book, not the one we usually recite. Okay, so let's say this 3 times. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Okay. Now imagine that a replica of your Lama, inseparable from Shakyamuni Buddha, dissolves into your crown. And instantly you're enlightened. You become a Buddha. And then in the next nanosecond, you send out countless millions, trillions upon trillions of replicas of your Lama inseparable from Shakyamuni Buddha on the crowns of every sentient being in the 6 realms to the edges of space, not just in this world, not just on this earth, not just this universe, all universes, everywhere. And then rejoice, because today you had the opportunity to do something for Shakyamuni Buddha. You've led all beings to enlightenment. It becomes the cause for all sentient beings to reach enlightenment. You will have access to that merit, and it will last a long, long time. This type of merit cannot be easily destroyed by anger because it is sealed with bodhicitta. And then you generate special bodhicitta, and I'll just say it 3 times. For the sake of all mother sentient beings, I shall quickly and more quickly actualize the Guru Deity's primordial state of Buddhahood in this very moment. I'll just say it 1 time. And now we'll dissolve the refuge merit field. The 5 sets of lamas, lineage lamas, and the lion throne dissolve into Shakyamuni Buddha like clouds in the sky. And then visualize Shakyamuni Buddha dissolves into you and blesses you. So that's the refuge and bodhicitta practice is completed. Okay. All right, so I was going to mention something about His Holiness, about his, what he said about the mind. I'm sure you have, about this, that the mind is an entity that has the nature of mere experience. There's gross, subtle, and very gross, subtle mind. But what I wanted to point out is that the fundamental nature of our mind or consciousness is not one with its obscurations. It's not one with ignorance, anger, and attachment. Just as a mirror is not one with dirt, but is temporarily obscured by dirt, so our mind is stained by the obscurations, but it is not one with them. And Maitreya said in Sublime Continuum, this clear and luminous nature of mind is as changeless as space. It is not afflicted by desire and so on, the adventitious stains which are sprung from incorrect thoughts. So now I'd like to talk about liberation. So these adventitious stains were created by our own thoughts and actions committed since beginningless time. That's why only we can liberate ourselves from cyclic existence. The Buddhas can't liberate us. If they could, they would have done this countless eons ago. They can't protect us from rebirth in the lower realms, but they show us the path to liberation and enlightenment. So this is also from the Sublime Continuum. When a precious treasure is contained within the ground beneath a poor man's house, the treasure cannot tell him, I am here, and the man does not know its presence. Like the poor man, beings are unaware that Dharma's treasure lies in the house of their minds, and the great sage truly takes birth within the world to cause them to attain this treasure. So Buddha nature, or Tathagata Garbha, is the clear light nature of the mind possessed by all sentient beings. The potential for all sentient beings to become enlightened. It is like a diamond covered in mud. Eventually, each of us will become enlightened, attain Buddhahood. There is always hope. We always have another chance. This process can take eons. That is why we take advantage of this precious human life right now. So Shantideva, who was an Indian Buddhist philosopher in the 8th century, wrote the book, or his writings were compiled in a book called Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. In chapter 4, Consciousness, in verse 20 says, "For these reasons the Buddha has said that as difficult as it is for a turtle to insert its neck into a yoke adrift upon the vast ocean, it is more difficult to attain the human state." And then in the Guru Puja, it says, "Realizing how this body of freedoms and richnesses is found at once, is difficult to obtain, and is quickly lost. I seek your blessings to make it worthwhile and take its essence without being distracted by the meaningless affairs of this life." So I just wanted to say that, just to know that is just amazing, because we go through life, sentient beings go through life and they're not aware of this. They're in the circle of samsara and they're not aware in that cycle of samsara. They have no idea. It's like being addicted to something like drugs, alcohol, whatever, and not knowing that you have an addiction and that all of the problems that are happening around you or happening to you is your own fault, but you don't understand that. You're sick. You don't understand that you're sick. You don't know that, and you don't understand that everything around you and everyone else is sick. And the things aren't just going to go right. You're wrong. They're not going to go right. Even if you become ordained or whatever, you become a Buddhist, doesn't mean that problems and complications are going to stop. We have to liberate ourselves. So what are the two obstacles to liberation? Well, it's the self-cherishing mind and self-grasping. So in his text, Entering the Middle Way, Chandrakirti writes, beings, and this is Geshe quotes this pretty often, beings think I at first and cling to self. They think of mine and are attached to things. They thus turn helplessly like buckets in a water wheel. And to compassion for such beings, I bow down. So the altruistic mind is the antidote to self-cherishing. Bodhi means enlightened and citta means mind. Bodhicitta is the compassionate wish to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. And the two types, grasping, aspiring and engaging. So all sentient beings, people think of human beings, especially if you're from the, have a Christian background. But in our faith, we think of everything, insects, animals, hell realm beings, gods, beings in the celestial realms, and so forth. So, we even wish to attain enlightenment for a roach. And Geshe says, how can you get your mind around that you would spend eons in the fiery hells of Levici for that roach? And so my sense, Geshe has never said this to me, but the only way I can think of is that we are all transmigratory beings. So we've all been roaches, we've all been animals, caterpillars, whatever, And so some people like to think of, my mother sentient beings, which is wonderful, but I think I'm a mother. So I think of my children. And when I think that roach is my son or my daughter in the realm, the roach, the animal realm, then that way I can think, well, for her or for him, that would be easy to do, to stay in the hells of Avicii for eons, because obviously, I don't know if, maybe you're not familiar with this because you're not a parent, but it's really, really hard to bring your child to happiness. It's like, you can bring your horse to water, but you can't make him drink. It's just like, it's right in front of you. Please do this, please get health insurance. Please work, don't spend more than you earn, whatever, they don't listen. So anyway, if you could do that, then you would be liberated, you would be rich, everything. But you can't make them study. You can bring the books to them, tell them how important it is to have an education, you're blue in your face, but they won't, unless they realize how important it is to have an education, or to drink this water so they don't get dehydrated. They will not do that. So here we are. So, okay. All right. So, okay, I'm going to skip this because we only have 30 minutes. Okay. So, all right, so we have the self-cherishing mind and the self-grasping. So I'm talking about for self-cherishing. Okay, there are 2 stages in the training in the spirit of enlightenment, or bodhicitta. Okay, and these are the 2 that are for people of great scope. When your mind is in the mind, training the mind, the stage of the path for persons of great capacity. And there's the 7-part cause and effect personal instructions and exchanging self and other. So the first one, the 7-part cause and effect personal instructions, in the lineage descended from the great Aldo Atisha, there are 7 points. So it's the development of love and compassion, beginning with equanimity and unbiased attitude toward everyone. Recognizing all beings as having been our mother in some previous lifetime. Remembering their kindness. For example, okay, you might think of, visualize, like, I've seen pictures of birds that spread their feathers over their nest, and their babies look really awful. They don't have any feathers, they look like little worms or something, but only a mother bird would think they're so precious, and so or putting their wings around them, and or sitting on them to keep them warm in the rain, and then also they go out and they kill, they get bugs and worms to feed us, and then that creates negative karma. And so just think about all that they do to help us, jumping in front of you so that you wouldn't get hit by a bullet, whatever, pushing you away so you won't get hit by a car, showing you how to use a spoon so you can eat everything, all their kindnesses. And then the 4th step is meditating on repaying their kindness. The 5th is to develop heartwarming love. It's an attitude with which we cherish others and would feel very concerned and upset if anything went wrong for them. And then the attitude of compassion, with which we wish everybody to be free from suffering. And then exceptional resolve, the attitude which we take responsibility of, I myself am going to separate everyone from suffering and bring them to happiness. And this is like I said, a practice of great scope. And then the exchanging self or other. Okay, based on the Congress child, Shanti Deva. Okay, so, all right. Now, there's this misconception that when we exchange self for other, we're trying to, for example, if someone in your family has, or a loved one or friend has cancer, we think that we're going to exchange our good health, give them our good health, and take their cancer, like that. And in a way it is, but really it isn't. What it is actually, Pabonka Rinpoche in Liberation in the Palm of the Hand says that what we're doing is we're trying to, instead of thinking of self-cherishing thoughts toward that person, we're exchanging them with, love and concern for them. Love, loving kindness, compassion. We're exchanging our attitude toward that person, but in the practice, it's just, you might get that view when you think of the way we practice the exchanging self for others. For example, like this. Okay, so you visualize all your sentient beings are around you, and they're numberless, and like us, everyone wants to be happy. No one wants suffering. How wonderful if I alone experience the sufferings of all the numberless sentient beings. Now, think or say this to yourself. Whatever sufferings sentient beings have, may they ripen on me. Visualize taking all the suffering of the beings in each of the 6 realms. So what you can also think is that when you're taking on the sufferings, you're not putting them on your body, aggregates. You're actually taking the sufferings onto your self-grasping and self-cherishing. So it's also benefiting you. So Pabonka Rinpoche says this: imagine all the suffering in the hot realms, hot hells are shed like hair shaved off with a razor, taking the form of black rays that dissolve into the self-cherishing at the center of your heart. Then visualize you are without suffering and are purified of all delusions and obscurations. And then think of the same thing for beings in the cold hells, hungry ghost realm, animal realm, human realm, demigod realm, celestial realm, and the bardo, the intermediate state. Now think, whatever happiness I have, may it ripen on sentient beings. Then visualize emanating numerous replicas of your body, which become whatever other sentient beings desire. You send them out to the universe. So it's you're emanating all your merit, all the virtue that you have accumulated since the beginning of time, that you're accumulating now, and you will accumulate in the future, and you're sending them out to all those beings. Soothing rains in the hot hells, sunshine and clothes to the cold hells. Beautiful locations, mansions, food and drink for hungry ghosts. Wisdom for animals. Mansions, possessions. Everything that humans want, desire. Put them right next to them. Armor for demigods. Objects of senses for the celestial realm beings. Then dedicate. And this is what Pavanka Rinpoche says, due to the merit of practicing Tonglen, may all sickness, harms of black magic, evil obstacles be eliminated. May life and wealth increase. And may whatever wishes be accomplished spontaneously according to the holy Dharma. By virtue of having done this practice, may I directly perceive ultimate truth and liberate in that second all transmigratory beings from the great ocean of samsaric suffering. Okay, so as I said, those two practices are for advanced practitioners in the great scope. But you can also start practicing the 6 perfections, to accumulate merit, generosity, ethical discipline, patience, joyful effort, meditative stabilization, and wisdom. Or you can do, easy things, walking around the stupa, walking around the gompa, prostrating, reciting mantras, sutras, making holy objects, rejoicing in others' merit, purification practice, the 4 opponent powers, regret, refuge, remedy, and restraint, and so on. So the practice of bodhicitta is to accumulate merit, and we need tons of merit to realize emptiness. So I just wanted to, Geshe-la encourages us to spin the prayer wheels, like the one in the lobby and the one alongside the building. And Lhamo Zopa Rinpoche shared this practice. It's in the Mani Kabum by King Sonzen Gampo. He says that Nagarjuna gave this practice to lion-faced Dakini, who gave it to Padmasambhava, who then brought it to Tibet. So it's a very precious practice. So while you're spinning the prayer wheel, visualize light beams coming from the mantras in the prayer wheel, illuminating you and purifying you of all your disease and the causes of disease, your negative thoughts and imprints of these left on your mental continuum. And you visualize the light illuminating all sentient beings, purifying all their suffering as well as their negative karmas and obscurations. So they're purifying all your disease, cause of these negative thoughts, etc. And then the second visualizations is that beams are emitted from the mantras in the prayer wheel, like a vacuum sucking up dust. They hook all disease and spirit harms, and most important, the cause of disease, the cause of negative karmas and obscurations. All these are absorbed and sucked into the prayer wheel. Then visualize that the beams emitted from the prayer wheel purify all sufferings and obscurations of the sentient beings of the 6 realms. They absorb into the prayer wheel, and all sentient beings, including you, are then liberated, actualizing the whole path and becoming the compassion Buddha. And actually, Lama Zopa Rinpoche said to actually say a few malas of mantras, but I left that out. Just imagine, do those visualizations. Okay, and then this is other ways to accumulate merit. His Holiness advises us to recite chanting the names of Manjushri until Lama Zopa Rinpoche's reincarnation is found, or for the swift return. And today is Rinpoche's birthday. So you do not have this text, but I'm going to share it online. It's the short version of the practice of chanting the names of Manjushri. And we're going to do this in Rinpoche's honor and to follow the advice of His Holiness, and it's called The Innermost Essence of Arya Manjushri's Tantra. It's very short. So let's see. And you can say this okay, you can say this practice or do this instead of a long one. Long one takes about 30 minutes. I don't know how long it takes in English, but it takes 30 minutes for me to chant it in Tibetan because it's, it's got a melody. So I'm going to share it. Okay, let's see. The innermost essence of the Arya Manjushri Tantra, in the language of India, Arya Manjushri Tantra Chitta, in the language of Tibet, Pagpa Jampel Gyu Ki Yangni. I prostrate to the youthful Manjushri. This way to the Bhagavan Buddha, the wisdom body, self-arisen, the stainless soul eye of wisdom, the brilliant light of wisdom. Arapa Kanae Te Nama. Homage to you, the wisdom body itself, thus explained by all the complete Buddhas. The perfect expression of the ultimate names of the Bhagavan, the wisdom being Manjushri as proclaimed by the Tathagata Shakyamuni, is complete. And that's it. Okay, let's see. Stop the share. Okay, so now that was a self-cherishing mind, so which is the antidote is bodhicitta, compassion. So the self-grasping mind is the mind that apprehends the self and all phenomena as inherently existent. Excuse me, it's the fundamental ignorance that is the root of samsara. So to eliminate this wrong view that grasps at self, we must recognize that what this egotistic view holds as its object, an independent, inherently existing self, is not there. We have to see that no such self exists at all. We have to meditate over and over again for a long time. So let's see. I want to give you time to circumambulate the stupa and the sender, so I'm going to shorten this a lot. Okay. So let's do the meditation that Geshe-la has asked us to do. So just, assume your meditation posture. So you keep your back straight, your shoulders are even. Your feet are either on the flat on the floor if you're sitting on a chair, or it's crossed if you're sitting on a cushion. Your head's tilted forward, tongue on the back of your front teeth. Your eyes are slightly open or lightly closed. If they're slightly open, looking down at the tip of your nose. Your head is tilted forward, not to the right or left. You're breathing evenly and audibly. But continue to be aware of where you are, what you're doing. So just be here in the present moment. Don't analyze, don't judge. Have no expectations, no concerns, no worries. Now, normally we would check our mind to see whether it's positive, negative, or neutral. If it's negative, we would focus on our breath. So let's do that. Just focus. See, exhale. Inhale, count 1. Exhale slowly and deeply. Inhale slowly. Count 2. Exhale. Inhale. And just continue. Focus on the space between your thoughts. Be aware of your awareness. If a thought pops up, if your mind wanders, look at the thought. Eventually it will disappear. Then go back to focusing on the space between your thoughts. Or you can see your thought like a bird caged on a boat in the middle of the ocean. Just let it go. Release the bird. Since it has no place to land, it will return to the boat and will relax. Eventually, your mind will become still, like still clear water. Now analyze the self. What is this self? The one on which I cling so tightly. Who am I? Am I my eyes? My nose? My heart? My skin? My brain? My thoughts? Analyze. Eventually, we see that we are none of these. The self is merely labeled on the aggregates, the body. This self is just nominally existent, imputed on the aggregates. It exists, but not inherently. It is like an illusion. It's not an illusion, it is like an illusion. So here's some stanzas from the King of Concentration Sutra, Samadhi Raja. The illusionist conjures images of horses, elephants, chariots, and so on. Yet none are as real as they appear to you. Just so you must comprehend all phenomena. The eager woman who experiences a dream of both the birth and death of a son, is joyful at the birth and saddened by the death. Just so you must comprehend all phenomena. Okay, so I think you know this. Start your day with a positive motivation, intention. That's one of the 5 powers of life. Then try to go about your day seeing things as they are truly, how they really exist. And notice the many projections that we add on to things, onto the people around us, judging them as pleasant or unpleasant, attractive or unattractive, friends or enemies. And then just think of yourself as almost like an actor interacting with the environment and beings, just going about your day. And pause before reacting, before speaking, examine your mind. Then at the end of the day, recall what happened. If the actions were neutral or positive, then rejoice and dedicate to your future enlightenment. If you did anything unskillful, then purify that and all the actions unskillful actions you may have done from beginning this time. All right, so that's the end of that. And if you go to page 246, we'll start with the dedication verses by Shantideva. I will share that on the screen. May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings of body and mind, obtain an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of our merits. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled with the mind weighed down by depression. May the blind see forms and the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding repose. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness, and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may these never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid, and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think of benefiting each other. For as long as space remains, for as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. I don't think I gave you the page number, I'm sorry. Now on page 244 and 245 in the Long Life Prayers. Verse 4 is holiness. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you're the source of all happiness and good, all powerful Chenrei Tenzin Gyatso. Please remain until samsara ends. And then on page 245, the Long Life Prayer for Khyentse Rinpoche. The one who mastered speech at a very young age, the one with great patience, who received the name Alatare, the one with great precision who sped the teachings of Lhamo Tsongkhapa and Bliss and Void, Lhamo ornament of the yellow tradition, please remain until samsara ends. Then on the inside of the back cover, prayer for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, peerless teacher and assembly of the children of victorious one, Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas, victorious Lozang, father and sons, and with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of the infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now. Holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings through explanation and practice. Before the armor of patience that is never discouraged, incomparable Venerable Guru, to you I make request. while striving single-pointedly for the sake of Victorious One's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and from other living beings. You suddenly depart to peace. What a great loss. Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels and the great waves of bodhicitta of the children of Victorious Ones, may the smile of the reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortunate disciples. And then in the inside front cover, pray for the long life for Geshe Gelek Chodao. Supreme Guide, lead us on the many paths of virtue. A shining sun, you give us the best of excellent explanations. Supreme virtuous friend, you are constant Dharma companion. Lhamo, who has renounced fame, may you ever remain. And then the one for Geshe Sampo. You who have steadfast imprints of virtuous qualities and keep the instructions of glorious Guru in your heart, you who pass day and night with noble activities, great virtuous friend, may you have a very long life. And then semitral mantras to benefit all beings. I don't know, what page is that on? Okay. Om Tare Tu Re Soha. 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 Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I hope you can have time to circumambulate afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Venerable Lhamo.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone who's joined us online and here in person. Oh, yeah, Robbie has a couple of notes.
Yeah, thank you. I think everybody's very excited that our Young People and Children's program is restarting in January. Ali and Tara, who are not here this morning, have put an incredible amount of work into it. And if you want to support them, we're having a cleanup session. Oh, yeah, she's here. Cleanup session Tuesday. Did you want to say something about that? I'm sorry, I'm taking your thunder. Just a cleanup session.
So Tuesday we'll be cleaning up the room for the family center, mobile classroom, there we go, that's the word for it. Just vacuuming, dusting, all the good stuff, airing out, organizing, and hopefully we can get it all done on Tuesday. If not, we have Saturday as well. Tuesday is 10 and Saturday is 9 or 9:30. I don't even remember now. But there is a sign-up genius if you'd like to help us out. And the sign-up genius is online on the calendar. Oh, great. We're going to put a banner up. So, or just show up. The sign-up genius would help us if we end up canceling the Saturday because we do it all on Tuesday, if that were to happen. But yeah, we'd welcome any help, and I'm really excited to get it aired out and ready to go.
Yeah, thank you. There's a lot of excitement around getting this started, so all the assistance we can get is great. And then just want to announce, for those people who are heavy volunteers, management coordinators, everything, we're going to have a brief get-together and powwow, and we'll start, what, Sandy, in about 15 minutes or so? Yeah, okay, but yeah, and anybody is welcome to attend, but so that's going to start shortly, okay? Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Hopefully you can join us on Zoom and YouTube and in person for the event happening on Thursday, Lama Tsongkhapa Day. See ya. Bye.